Peace. This is the enemy's public, and I am Brother Nasir. I am quite sure everyone knows about the Professor Griff and Nick Cannon interview on Cannon's Class, where Professor Griff and Nick Cannon did a powerful build. Nick Cannon was interviewing Professor Griff on his YouTube podcast called Cannon's Class. Nick Cannon has been interviewing a lot of powerful brothers and sisters and getting some very pertinent historical facts and information from our brothers and sisters. Last year, he did a interview with Professor Griff that he recently posted, and they did a powerful build. All historical facts that some people have a problem with. You can't say anything about certain people without being called anti-Semitic, anti-white, anti-whatever. If you call certain people out on what they've done historically and what they're doing currently, that's considered hate. Now, during the interview Nick Cannon conducted with our brother, Professor Griff, Nick Cannon never said any names. No names did he say. All he said was what happens. Nick Cannon gave historical facts on, he and Griff, they discussed religion, they discussed savagery of some people, they discussed melanin, they discussed a lot of things that our people, a lot of us are privy to it, but a lot of us know about this. They also discussed the banking system, and he mentioned one name. He mentioned the Rothschilds. During the total interview, he only mentioned one name. He mentioned the banking system in America and abroad. He also mentioned the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he spoke very good about the minister. And he spoke about the facts and the truth that the minister tells. And he also spoke about slavery and the barbaric behavior of some people. Nothing of falsehood, everything historical facts. Now, he spoke about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he was at the Garden when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave his July 4th, 2020 address to the world, Criterion. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center for years have based, what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say. They call it hate. When I've been listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for decades, over 3 to be exact, and I haven't heard a single solitary word of hate coming out of the minister's mouth. The minister, as the Southern Poverty Law Center said, he's the Nation of Islam's national representative of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, the Southern Poverty Law Center accused the minister of being an anti-Semite who routinely accuses the Jews of manipulating the U.S. government and controlling the levels of the world's powers. And anyone who would say that Jewish people control and run Hollywood, they're punished for it when they'll show you in your face that they do run it. Whenever the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan can say that he's doing a world address July 4th and Jake Tapper get on CNN and call the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan out of his name, which nobody called Jake Tapper out for telling blatant lies on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, calling the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan vile, said he's misogynistic. They said he was a hater of the LGBTQ, and he also said that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is anti-Semitic, when he's none of those things. Now, the Nation of Islam is not a fundamental, bizarre, anti-white group. No, we're not. The Nation of Islam is a organization that teaches black people not to depend on anyone else to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. Now, why isn't anyone calling out people who tell blatant lies on others when there are people being punished, i.e. Nick Cannon, for telling the truth? Everything that Professor Griff and Nick Cannon stated on their very powerful build was historical facts. And some people consider telling the truth about others, and they didn't even do it with malicious intent. They didn't do it maliciously. It was in great spirit. It was just a powerful bill, a discussion. Yet, some people will consider that hate. People consider the truth hate. It's hate when you're lying. You can never tell the truth and be considered a hater. A hater lies. A hater is vindictive. A hater would punish he or she who would tell the truth. That's what a hater does. Take away opportunity from someone who would tell the truth. That's hate. And not caring who fall with that person. Nick Cannon employed people. He employed brothers and sisters on his show. And now his show was snatched from under him because he told the truth about a group of people. I'm not understanding how black people are not a protected class of people. Do not understand that when we have been subjected to so much hate, so much murder, so much mistreatment. Now, if anybody on the planet Earth know what hate look like, what hate sounds like, and what hate feels like, it's the black man and woman in the wilderness of North America. Now, criticizing someone is not hate. Speaking the truth is not anti-Semitic. If Nick Cannon said something that was anti-Semitic and hateful? Why wasn't he brought to the table and show the little brother what he said that was hateful and anti-Semitic? The problem with certain people is they won't come to the table because they will look like a bully. If they don't want to look like the bully, they want to appear as if they're being bullied. Now, if you can't point out someone's error or someone's hate or someone's falsehoods, you shouldn't accuse them of that. You should always have what they say in the conscious community, receipts. Once you say something about someone, you should have facts that support it. If not, why would you say Nick Cannon is anti-Semitic? Why would you say he's hateful towards the Jews? Why would you say Professor Griff is anti-Semitic? Because he gave information that was in a book from the Nation of Islam's research department, information in a book called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. Most of the information was compiled by Jewish scholars, people that's just willing to tell the truth and shame the devil. Now, talking to Griff, I knew Nick Cannon would be in trouble just for talking to Griff, because Nick Cannon is mainstream. Professor Griff is not anymore. And I am very tired of people referring to Professor Griff as the former member of Public Enemy or former Minister of Information of Public Enemy. The last I checked, Professor Griff was still a member of Public Enemy. And I most recently seen a video called State of the Union. I could have sworn I seen Griff in that video. Could have sworn I seen him. And people need to just stop telling falsehoods. Lying on someone is hate. That's hate. Now, in 1989, Dave Mills did an interview with brother Professor Griff. And according to Griff, it was a very civil conversation. They were joking, they were laughing, even dapping each other, according to what brother Griff said. I'm going to believe brother Griff because he never lied. Now, when Dave Mills' girlfriend came in, he flipped the script and started acting different. And Dave started asking certain questions about who controlled Hollywood, music, entertainment as a whole. And Professor Griff told the truth. He told the truth. Now, with all the filth that's put out, certain people don't want to be associated to that, but they're capitalizing off it with no association. So when you hear filthy lyrics on a hip hop record, or today even R&B, we have to keep in mind who benefits the most and who's the executive producer, who owns the label. When you see violent movie foul language on a TV program, on a movie, we have to determine who is the executive producer. The executive producer is he or she who put the money up, who made this into a product itself through financing. We have to consider who is that. Now, when you see a filthy movie, a filthy TV program, raunchy lyrics, raunchy content in a movie or a TV program, we have to consider who executive produced it. Writers have a lot to do with it, and so does the people who let the lyrics or the dialogue come out of their mouth. Yet, it's approved by those who pull the strings, those who have the money. Yet, we have people who criticize artists who make the movies, who make the music, yet these are the same people who capitalize, the same people who benefit from what they will call filth. Now, Viacom, NBC, is owned by, certain people. And Nick Cannon offended them by telling the truth about them, which is MTV, BET, VH1, Nickelodeon, all these channels that you see in a row on your channel lineup is owned by one person, one entity at least. Now, Nick offended them, and he stood tall for a few seconds. He called them out on a few things, and they had to say something to him to make him change his mind about his stance on the truth that he told. Because for him to apologize the way he did, and I'm speaking about the second apology, not the first one. The first apology was strong, to the point, and with a lot of humanity in it. The second one was just capitulating, outright capitulating. I mean, for him to not even refer to Professor Griff as Professor Griff and saying that, mentioning his government name, saying that he's sorry about the content and the hate-filled speech that he associated himself with when he did the interview with Richard Griffin. Didn't even say the brother's name. And then he said that someone let him see some speeches that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan made that was hate-filled, and now he want to speak to some rabbis so they can educate him on whatever. Nick, you already know. No one need to educate you on nothing, because you already know and you told the truth. Why would you apologize for telling the truth? Why would you, after being in the presence of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and in the presence of Professor Griff, doing a powerful bill as brothers, And then, because of pressure from people, behave like you didn't believe what you were saying. It was said with such beautiful articulation and with such a beautiful spirit. It wasn't even with malice. Yet now you are falling back on your own word. Let me tell you, when you don't have anything in this entire world, at least you have your manhood. Now, I know it's overwhelming because it happens so fast. Yet, brother, you are a brand. We, your brothers and sisters, have your back. We have a few isolated Negroes that's going to get out and read whatever white people put in their hands as if they're saying action, enroll in the film. You have Negroes that's going to do that. And Negroes, all the way since the beginning of our sojourn in America, well, before we were brought over here from Africa, it was Negroes. There always been a sellout Negro because during slavery, they couldn't catch us. They used Negroes to catch us. Every time they ran up on the brother slaughtered them, killed them. But it took brothers, I said brothers with quotes, Negroes, to catch the brothers and the sisters who eventually became slaves. Now, we have Negroes like that today. We have Negroes that think it's normal for us to be on the bottom and white people on top. They think that's how it's supposed to be. For someone who is 6'3", 250 pounds of muscle to speak like he's a 90-pound weakling shouldn't be allowed to speak in public. I know why he's doing it, because he's coddling and he's pandering to white supremacists. And his wife is half white. If because of who you marry, you're not allowed to be yourself, maybe you should think about it and evaluate that, because you are behaving less than a man. If you are married to a Caucasian person, nobody can tell you who you should fall in love with. We can only advise you. But if you just so happen to fall in love with a white woman, or a sister falling in love with a white man, there's one thing no one should ever get in the middle of: love. Don't even try that. Yet, it's not love if you can't be yourself. Because let me tell you, those white people are going to be them. They're going to be them. Terry Crews, he's too big to be weak. Yet, certain things happen with him that shows him as a weak man. He's weak. He's too big to be that weak. He want to fight comedians for telling him that he should have checked the person who put his hands on him unwantedly. But he want to fight the guy that's telling him that it was wrong. Yet, he had nothing to say to someone who sexually assaulted him. Our brother Terry Crews needs to stop lifting weights and lift his consciousness. He really do. because he's behaving buffoonish now. Because you can have white friends and still be the man you are. Just be the man you are. Be a man. If they can't understand that you are a man, they're not your friend. And there's nothing that angers me more than a capitulating fool. It just angers me. Nick Cannon was condemned by a slew of people. And I'm certain that all the people who said he's an anti-Semite, he's a racist, he's this, he's that, probably didn't even watch the interview. Didn't even see it. Because if anyone who watched the interview, if they were absolutely truthful, it would raise their eyebrows, saying, what did Griff and Nick say that was hateful and anti-Semitic? I watched the interview 4 times. I didn't see or hear anything anti-Semitic or hateful. Or, most importantly, false. When you throw a rock in a crowd, the only one who is going to yell ouch is the one who got hit. That's a fact. And if that rock is meant for you, you're supposed to take it. You're supposed to take it. And no one, absolutely no one, should be punished for telling the truth. No one should have opportunities snatched from under them and their name dragged in the mud for telling the truth. Nick Cannon and Professor Griff told the truth. And I don't like to see brothers capitulate. I don't like that. Especially when, you see the brother Strong always say, Nick, he's a comedian. He likes to have fun. But he added some seriousness into his life. And the brother's brilliant. He has knowledge of self and others. And he should stand on not what he believes in, because what you believe in is not necessarily the truth. But when you are believing in the historical facts and the truth, that's when you stand on what you believe in, because he told the truth. And he's being punished for it. And I don't see how anybody could see the interview and come out with that determination. And you have Negroes, not just white people, Negroes that didn't see the interview and jumping on the bandwagon. Somebody wrote a script for them, say this, and they're doing it. They're doing it. And you have Negroes that probably rode with it. But when Massa come and say, you need to say something, it's Negroes that's willing to do it. Especially if a bag's involved. It's all about the money, and it's all about why Griff is taking a different stance on this. He don't want to be out of work. He don't want things snatched away from him. That's understandable. It shouldn't be snatched from you in the first place because you didn't do anything wrong. That's understandable. But you don't capitulate. You don't bend over. You don't bootleg. You don't be in limbo because someone is pressuring you to backtrack on the truth that you told. That's wrong. Because if you continue this behavior, let me tell you, your relationship with them is over, regardless to how much you beg. Okay? When they put their foot on your neck, it stays there. They never take it off. It follows you and they make sure of it. And I don't even think you should kiss enough ass to get back in their graces. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Because when people look at you, you want them to see a man, right? You want them to see a man. You don't want them to see a punk. You don't want them to see someone who cracked under pressure. Let this pressure create a diamond. Don't let it create a cracked pipe. And this is said very sincerely to our brother Nick Cannon. And don't do this to us. Don't do this to Griff. The brother sat across the table with you. Don't do this to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Don't do this to Sister Joy LaGroux. Don't do this. You referenced Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Now you're witnessing everything that she said. You're witness to it. You're a victim of everything that she said that people are capable of. Come on, brother. Don't do this. This is the enemy's public, and I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.